and welcome everybody back once again to another GT3 Sunday here at TRACKILICIOUS, when we are at one of the longer circuits as well. We are at the Nordschleife. The GT3 is taken on for the penultimate round, and I'm your host here tonight, Mike Nause. Joined alongside me is none other than the Saagar Bakshi. Saagar, how are you doing tonight?
I'm living the dream. Hello, racers, race fans, and all the watchers. Thank you very much for joining us here at TRACKILICIOUS for another wonderful event. This time we're at the 24-hour of Nords, and we've got 30 drivers taking to this amazing grid, and that is going to be one of the most exciting features of this race so far. Everywhere we look up and down the pack, we're going to see battling all over the place, and boy, am I set for it.
Absolutely, and the Nordschleife is a track that is known to deliver, of course, and while we may not be doing the full 24 hours of the Nordschleife, we do have 80 minutes plus another 8 minutes, or who knows how long with the Nordschleife. It is a very, very long circuit. In fact, it is about 15.5 miles, or 25.3 kilometers to be exact, with roughly 87 corners, depending on who you ask, 42 to the right and 45 to the left, and by the way, I counted those along with a couple other people, so that is actually, like I say, it's all up for debate on how many corners. Some people say over 100. That is utter nonsense. I don't buy it. Either way, I hope everyone's having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. We're gonna go over the calendar real quick before we get on into things. We can pull up the whole week and the schedule ahead of us, and well, the calendar is kind of coming down to the close. We have the GT4 rookies heading over to Zandvoort tomorrow night, as well as the GT4 Open Bowl Championships still available for signups. Everything that I'm mentioning here is available over on SimGrid, !SimGrid, there we go, is going to bring you to the place that you are desired if you are looking to find yourself in one of these championships. We, of course, also, though, have the GT3 West Coast that will be coming down to the final round over at Zandvoort as well. Plus the GT3 Sundays, that's what you're watching right now, the Nordschleife. We have the final round closing down at the Hungaroring next week, and Spooky Suzuki coming up very, very soon. That will be on October 30th for the 45-minute sprint, but most importantly, I don't have the graphic, Saagar. I should have probably done that. That's the one thing I was forgetting, but we have the Spooky Suzuki livery competition as well. That's going to be available over on SimGrid. We highly recommend you get on involved with that if you have a livery that you want to show off to the rest of the community, because it is, all in all, just here for a good time. That one is not just it's not going to be a highly competitive event. We're just having a nice evening with the community. Plus, as well, the Sunsprint at Zandvoort and Flooded Silverstone. Those are a couple fun events that we have coming up as well. And of course, a massive thank you to all of our wonderful patrons, all their names on screen currently. Special thanks to the V12 Exotics, and especially as well to all of the V8 Muscle Inline 4 and anyone that's supported the server in whatsoever. We have donors. We also, of course, have Twitch subscribers, as well as many other ways. Just by watching the stream, you are in fact supporting. But if you haven't yet, hit that like button. We recently hit our goal of, well, actually, we have a new goal set of 2,400 followers, and we got 91 till we do, in fact, hit that. But Saagar, I think it is enough time for rambling here, and I think we go down to the action where we're going to see these drivers fighting it out in the qualifying session.
Let's take a look and see what the drivers are all doing right now. Right now on the timing chart, I think we have a definite leader. That'll be Quinn Smith leading Ali Raza, and then Emirates in third, Gil Silverland, Wilson Fernandez, Kenneth Portis the second, Jeff Spangler, Nicholas Menendez, Casey Schutte, and then Andre Alex Alfonso rounding out the top 10 right now. And Mike, it's pretty close in the championship right now. How close is it?
It's about 2 points to the good right now between the top two. Now, I'll admit third place, Ali Raza, is a little bit off of that at 244 points, but at the moment, it is a nail-biter between Jeff Spangler and the man on screen right now, Quinn Smith.
Yeah, really, really close between these two drivers, and on track, let's see where they are separated from each other. Quinn Smith leading in P1. Spangler is only able to produce 7th place for himself with a 8:15.9, but of course the Nordschleife is one of those tracks where it's not about how fast you are a lap over a lap. It's really more important to produce this consistency lap over lap. because one small snafu, just like at Bathurst, can cost you at least a minute plus in the pit lanes. And that's the one thing that's going to be most beneficial to these drivers, is making sure that they can stay clean on track, no matter what the cost is, no matter how many cars they end up getting passed by. But staying clean has to be their number one priority. And graze with the wall will be the end of their race. And despite it being mostly curved like a banana here at the Nordschleife track, the drivers are going to have to drive it in a straight line.
Yeah, and it is a circuit that rewards, well, to be honest, discretion. You know, discretion is a better part of valor, the cliche saying as old as time, but it really reigns true on this 15.5-mile circuit where the drivers are giving it their all. And you can see it's pretty much a street circuit. This track has been around since 1927. The GP circuit added back in 84, but it is not a modern track by any standards. This is a bit of a primitive one where the guardrails are never far. And to be honest, it's a track that, you know, I had this discussion recently on the Williams stream, but, you know, it's something that I think circuits are missing these days, is a bit of punishment. You know, I think a lot of these tracks are being very nice. They all have these runoff area. You don't have the grass that really punishes your lap times, forces you to invalidate, to spin. Of course, there's the famous YouTube corner, which we're going to be approaching here relatively soon. Quinn Smith not going to be finding himself getting a clip made of, though I'm certainly hoping. But this is just a track that really, really punishes the mistakes, and it rewards the drivers that practice, to be completely honest. And yes, there is no time left in qualifying, but strap in, folks, because we have at least another 8 minutes ahead of us.
Yeah, the qualifying really isn't going to be the most important thing that I'm seeing so far, but it's really how much that they practice. You're right, Mike Nause. How much you've practiced and how much memory you've committed to this racetrack. With over 80 corners dedicated to this circuit here, it's really going to be important to have that muscle memory dialed in. Of course, you're not going to remember all the names of these corners like some of us have, or know all of them by reference, but at the very least, you should have the flow down and the momentum of the circuit down, because one corner always leads into another. So you're going to be able to flow right from one to the other. There goes Patrick Dubois with a wonderful sub. Thank you very much, Patrick Dubois, for that lovely subscription.
9 months from Dubois. That's almost a year, Patrick. Thank you so much for your continued support here at Trackalicious. But more here, we have Ali Raza being right onto the back, 9/10 off of the good right now, but still, as my timing charts say, is on an invalid lap. I don't believe that to be the case, as they are still on a flyer right now, Ali. And same with the Emirates, one of the latecomers to the championship, and an absolutely rapid driver. We saw some fun fact redemptions coming in. We'll hit that one in between the races here. We don't have an out lap, so that will be nice. We don't need to worry about that. Fun fact about Liam Lawson. We're going to stick with the Nords for today because I don't have any. We're just going to have to keep on subject there a little bit. But Liam Lawson absolutely crushing it. I won't spoil. No spoiling the Formula One race, anybody, but it was a great race today. If anyone missed it, I highly recommend checking it out. But let's not talk about F1. We're here to talk about the GT3s, especially because Saagar hasn't watched the race yet.
Thank you very much, Mike Nause, for bringing that up. I appreciate it. I'm just catching up right now. I have a fun fact about Liam Lawson. Liam Lawson was supposed to win the DTM championship back in 2022, but got taken out at the final race at the first corner twice by none other than, we won't even say his name. He got taken out by the same guy twice. It was pretty horrendous for a championship to go away from Liam Lawson that way, but that's my fun fact, or not so fun fact, for Liam Lawson, and that's what prevented him from getting into F1 so quickly.
There we go. I still find it crazy that if you win an F2 championship, honestly, that was a great fun fact. Was that off the dome piece, or was that off of the...
No, I've had that memorized. I remember watching that race live and just like jaw hit the floor like, no, it happened once, and then it happened again in race 2. I was like, no way. He just had to finish the race. Like, not even win. He just had to finish the race to win the championship. So bad.
Anyways, We have Ollie Raza here heading across the final corner, or rather the final corner complex onto the GP circuit. Emirates did dethrone Quinn Smith for the time being. Can Ollie Raza respond? 1.2 seconds is the goal, and he does. In fact, he smashes the door wide open. 0.4 quicker than Emirates, the driver from the UAE. Next to the line is going to be the number 18 here of Ramon Torres, the Puerto Rican driver, through the final corner complex. Such a tricky corner complex as well, when you just have to stop onto the brake so extremely hard. To the line, though, goes Torres, and it is going to be a few positions gained, up to 10th. Very respectable efforts there. Next up as well, Kevin Yu.
Amazing lineup right now. Ollie Raza leads Emirates, Quinn Smith, Gil Silverland, Timothy Jedubal up into the top 5, Nicholas Mendez for the Noobs RS Racing team, Wilson Fernandez, Kenneth Porce II, Jeff Spangler, and Ramon Torres all in the top 10 right now. It's an amazing lineup that we have battling it out for the top 10.
Yeah, we also had some energy being thrown the way a little bit earlier. That was going to be over to Jeff Spangler, the man competing for the championship and currently leading it. And we'll see where he falls, but right now the times are not in his favor. In fact, 9th fastest is where it's going to be. Suitable for the 9th is the 9. Some say it's fate, some say it's a curse, but either way, the position remains the same.
And Kenneth Portis in 7th place right now, producing a 8:14.9. I'm seeing a lot of times that are almost identical to each other, which is almost crazy, being an 8-minute lap. And then you're seeing 1 second or less gaps, such as Timothy Jedubal with an 8:14.057, and then Nicholas Menendez with an 8:14.095. So just a couple hundred separating those two drivers over an 8-minute lap, folks.
And in 2 different manufacturers as well. Keep that in mind. So just adding more spice to the equation, at least for some of these cars as well. We also just have, Kevin Blanchette being Kevin Blanchette, might I add. In fact, is this, now that I'm realizing, it was Kevin Blanchette, is this his first time back in the championship? Because that's a name that I have not seen in a fat minute, to be completely honest. But he has shown up in the very, very fitting machinery, currently sitting down in 18th position. But he is, in fact, in the Jag.
And he is back for sure. I heard that in the pre-driver's briefing to welcome Blanchette back. I think this is one race of the Sunday night GP series or GT series that he wants to participate in. And I was mentioning with 30 drivers, Nordschleife tends to be one of those tracks that brings out all the sweaty folks.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a fun circuit. I don't know about sweaty. I think it's a challenge. There aren't many tracks, Saagar, that you can be driving around and forget which corner you're at. You think, okay, I have a right-hander coming up here. I just went through these 2 left-handers, and then you have the right-hander coming up, but it's a different right-hander from the one that you actually thought, and then there's a left-hander right after it, so you're actually in the wall. There's not many circuits that you have to worry about that. In fact, I might even say this is the only one that you have to worry about that problem.
And someone asked what driver crashed into Liam Lawson that took him out. Let's just say that it was a South African driver and his brother's race for Lexus Racing. Again, no names dropped. No names dropped. Have to do your own Googling.
Thank you very much to Nathan Levinsky for the follow. Welcome to the team here at TRACKILICIOUS. We have one more driver to finish their lap, Professor Kronotis. And he will be looking to improve, currently sitting down in 16th position for the McLaren driver. The McLaren seems quite strong here, but otherwise we see a good mix of cars in terms of this championship. Again, lots of cars you don't typically see. We got Lexus, we got Nissan GTOs. In fact, hold on, do we have a Lexus? I'm not sure we have one this week. But we got Jags. I mean, what more could you want, to be completely honest? Besides the Lexus.
I want Lexus.
I was going to say, yeah.
I want Lexi to be here. And just for that name, that was Sheldon van der Linde. I had to look it up. I couldn't remember off the top of my dome. I kept on wanting to say SVG, but I know that that's wrong. It was Sheldon van der Linde who crashed into him not once, but twice in the final round. I believe it was at Oschersleben.
Oschersleben?
I can't remember how to pronounce the name of the track.
Oschersleben. or something
sure,
like that.
Schlieben.
It's close
Something
enough.
like that. Yeah.
My German's not perfect either, but yeah. Shout out to anyone that was at the ADAC Sim Racing Expo. I know there was a lot of, I saw a lot of people there that was, I wish I was there. Let's just say that. There were a lot of people that I wish that I could know in person that I've known for a long time online there. I know Prawn was there. As well as Remco. There were tons of people. If you were there, let us know. Anyways, we got to get into the action here because there is a short outlap. Let's get in here and let's meet our drivers for tonight. Starting us off at the top, it is going to be the razzle-dazzle himself, Ali Raza, the number 30 BMW up at the top. And holy smokes, Doc Milwee getting gifted a sub from Whelp Cakes. So Little Milwee gifting a sub to Papa Milwee. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Or Doc Milwee gifted a sub to? Wait, hold on. Anyways, thank you so much from the Milwees. You guys are awesome. Moving on, Emirates, the number 1 car running in second here for tonight. We also have Quinn Smith in third for the number 66. Gil Silver in fourth for the 400 in the Mustang GT3, with Timothy Jadubal behind in fifth. Nicholas Menendez, sixth fastest here tonight, with Kenneth Portis the second in seventh. Wilson Fernandez, the 888 in eighth. Some say that's fate. Well, you might also say because number 9 is in ninth, with Jeff Spangler in ninth. Rounding out your top 10, the 999 of Andre Alex Afonso.
And then in 11th place, we're going to have Ramon Torres in the number 18, followed by none other than Anthony Kelly from the FNM squad, rocking a Ferrari. And then we've got Casey Schutte in the 444 in 13th position, rounding it out in the Aston Martin. Professor Carnotis for Holistic Racing, rocking his iconic livery in the number 42 in 14th place. Matt Artem is going to be in 15th place for the 414. Thiago Dinarte is going to be in the number 23 in 16th place. Zane Busquet is going to be in the number 64 in 17th position. Kevin Blanchette is going to be in 18th in the number 420. Nice. And then we've got Eric the Boss Gakasi in the 555 in 19th position. Rogerio Santos in 20th position in the 177. Alex Hansen holding it down in the 390 in 21st position.
22nd here belonging to, sorry, we tripped over each other on that one. The 22nd position here belonging to Will Brunner for the number 98, Philip Lee in 23rd, Kevin Yu in 24th. We have Chandler Williams, a new name to the field, I'm pretty sure, in 25th, with Yeager Karu in 26th, the brilliant Neon Mad Fox livery. Jan Stam coming home in 27th, with Drew Burakovsky in 28th, John Watt in 29th, and Spady Bud rounding out your top 30.
There we go. Spady Bud's rocking a dashing livery this time. Haven't seen that one all season long, but I do love the Lotuses there on the Galaxy car.
Yeah, now where can you find a livery like this being made, Saagar? In fact, this livery courtesy of Neil Kerbel.
I believe if you contact Neil Kerbel, he can help you out with some of that stuff, especially if you're looking for a livery for the Spooky Suzuki event. I'm sure his time is being filled up with livery creations and ideas. So if you have an idea for a livery that you'd like to get created, go ahead and contact Neil Kerbel as soon as possible to get onto the waiting list.
Absolutely. Let's hydrate up here. The drivers lined up, rearing to go for the action. An hour and 20 minutes on the clock here for tonight. Holly Raza on pole position with Emirates alongside 2x2 Noah's Ark formation. I'm Mike Noster, and alongside me tonight is Saagar Bakshi. As we get ready here, it's a little bit of a different layout down to the first chicane. Who's going to give it? Emirates is off with an incredible jump shot out like a cannon. Holly Raza is going to have to defend from behind at this point, but no, he's already boxed out. 3 wide as Quinn Smith is getting swamped now from the out and the in. That's a dive bomb and a half, though. The Mustang is in too deep. Makes contact with Emirates, manages to wrestle the car back on track, gains the reins though, does Gil Silver, in side by side though with Timothy Jadubal all the way down. Now the cones ruthlessly taken out, and a bit of a mistake as that's going to be Gil Silver, and off the Noobs R Us car as well, joining him in the kitty litter. Everybody else is going by, but there is chaos and carnage. Andre Alex Afonso, Gil Silver, and as well as Anthony Kelly, Matt, our team, and more getting involved, but most drivers getting off without too much of a scratch. The front runners smiling as they see all that in their rearview mirror.
At one point, Quinn Smith was down 5 positions overall, which has huge championship implications. And due to that one incident and that one slip up, he's able to just go down 1 position overall. He's in 4th place, started in 3rd overall. We've got some big gainers right now, such as Will Brunner gaining 11 positions overall. Tiago Dinarte gaining 8 positions right now, and none other than Professor Commentators gaining 5 on the break.
Yeah, not to mention the boss, Eric, up 5 positions as well. He's making pretty decent work of the situation that's been presented of him. Now, behind that, you can see some squabbling. Alex Hansen, he's involved, but Chandler Williams, one of the newer drivers to the field, battling it out with the Jag of Kevin Blanchette, and under pressure from Kevin Yu in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of action from the Fuchsia Competition Esports guys running these Lamborghinis. Drew Burkowski as well as Kevin Yu being part of those teams on the front splitter now with Kevin Yu as we enter the Green Hell circuit. And looking at the rear end of that Jaguar, and that's a thing that I never thought I'd say in this Sunday night series.
No, it certainly is not. But Kevin Blanchette, the Crazy Rabbits Racing, they always bring the crazy machinery to the table. And I just love to see it. They bring the V12 Astons. You know, we have Carlos Guzman, who's also part of that team. And I think Jose as well, I'm pretty sure. I haven't seen them around for a while. I'd love to see them back if they are in the chat. But Kevin Blanchette joining us here tonight is such a welcome sight. A very, very talented driver, not just in general, but with that Jaguar in particular. In the 12 Hours of Bathurst hosted by TRACKILICIOUS, that man right there managed to pilot it to a 2nd place finish. 12 hours, yes, at Bathurst, the Jaguar beat the rest of the field. Now, that was, granted, a while ago, I think before the McLaren Evo 2 had come out, before the Ferrari had come out. And speaking of the McLaren Evo 2, Philip Lee having a bit of a wobble.
Bit of a wobble, look left, look right, look center, but through this straight that's as curved as a banana, trying to make his way through somehow, some way, can't really do it. And there's a big slip and slide, gripped over a banana peel there, and straight off into the wall. That's Philip Lee for the Republic of PB&J.
Yeah, that was less than ideal right there. A big loss, unfortunately, and I'm pretty sure Chandler Williams made it out of that without an issue. In fact, he's trying to capitalize now on the situation with Ruggiero Santos. Oh, going in very deep there, and a lunge and a half, and that move was never on, unfortunately. There may have been netcode that had contributed to that, but that was certainly prioritizing aggression over adhesion, and, well, Matt, our team, he finds himself shoved off the road as well. Not going to be too happy about that one, I imagine, is the Audi.
No, and that's going to be a rejoin. That's not too happy for Matt, our team, not at all. And that Mustang might be as bruised as a ripe banana for banana bread. And he's trundling along all right in that number 3, but that car can't be doing too well as far as aero's concerned. And that's something that you desperately need here at the Nürburgring circuit for some of these high-speed corners. And we've got a kerfuffle here. A lot of cars going side by side right now and squabbling for position left, right, and center. And there goes Gil Silverland dipping a wheel off into the grass, trying to tuck in behind Phil Lee, I believe, and then trying to go through on him. That injured McLaren has seceded that position.
Yeah, Phil here is a bit of a wounded animal, unfortunately, going down the hill. He just lets all of those positions go. Jaeger Karu and the Neon Fox trying to get by as well. Up ahead, Nicholas Menendez pressuring onto Jan Stam. In fact, trying to look to the inside there. Doesn't really find anything, rather just kind of finds some marbles on his tires, in fact. He's going to have to try again another day for that move. And he is immediately, in fact, gets the power down, looks to the outside, but again, that is going to be the less than ideal line as we come into the left-hander, the inside held by the Porsche, but the pressure is on right now, and Saagar, we all know that pressure can either turn you into a diamond or it can crack you into a million pieces, and Stam is trying to find that out right now.
Yeah, and pot might be boiling over for Jan Stam right now. Driving that 4.2 liter flat 6 with 500 horsepower is going to be a sitting duck here in the straight lines at the Nordschleife circuit, but doing well throughout all the twisty bits that we're about to run into here. And I think the McLaren will have the best of him at the end of the lap for sure. And that's just the nature of the two cars, two different manufacturers. And there goes Nicholas Menendez with a big tank slapper trying to go around the outside of Jan Stam. Couldn't quite keep it together there and dipped the wheel off into the grass and into the wall he ends up going.
Yeah, Kessel Chen is a very opportunistic move if you want to make that one happen. That was that corner that he ended up alongside there, as there's even more action up ahead between Stom and it looks like Silver. And in fact, we have an incident with Alex Hansen facing the incorrect direction here, and he's going to have to wait to rejoin. Okay, there we go. He's actually just going to pull off to the side, and he finds a nice little slip exit, which is, to be fair, very difficult to do. Up at the top, we haven't really mentioned it. Emirates. He's leading, and he has been since the start. He got that absolutely, just again, gunshot of an exit out of the start line there. And Ali Raza just could not answer. Quinn Smith, ever since then, has fallen off as well, just 2.5 or 3 seconds behind. And Timothy Jadubal not really giving up as they go on through the foxhole and up the hill again. We'll see if it's a matter of time. I think Quentin Smith here, he's found his kryptonite on this circuit maybe. But I guess speaking of kryptonite, Jeff Spangler, I mean, he's up 1 position, but certainly not lighting the championship up like we would expect.
Maybe not lighting the championship up right now, but maybe he's just holding his cards close to his chest right now, and he's trying to conserve some of this race pace. Because if you think about it, driving at 10% of your limit but making it to the very end is going to be more beneficial to you than driving within 1% of your limit and possibly running into a wall or having an incident like some of the drivers have been doing so far, such as Alex Hansen finding that banana peel. And here's another banana peel found for Zane Blisket. And it seems like he tripped over himself, is now going very slowly and tumbling down the order right now, letting at least 3 cars through. The number 64, Mad Fox Sim Racing.
Yeah, a bit of a unsafe-ish rejoin. It's just hard to rejoin the circuit. I mean, I'm not going to give him a full-on, detention for that. I would say just a minor slap on the wrist. It is what it is. He could have left a little more room, but no one got hurt at the end of the day. And so a victimless crime, you can just sort of turn your head and say, well, all right, at least nobody got hurt. But here, Gil Silver
got hurt.
Oops, sorry. Gil Silver in here, though, on the back with Nicholas Menendez behind them, still applying pressure. Nicholas here, he's looking for fights, and he is just an aggressive fighter right now, it seems. The Argentine trying to make moves now, but he is on the most opportune part of the track to do so, the long Dottinger, and it will be a straight-up drag race between the bull and the horse.
Yeah, let's look at Casey Shute right now and Will Brunner, the battle between 11th and 12th as well. But we got more action coming up right down the field for position 20th and 21st also. There goes Brunner on the outside of Shute right now. Side by side coming down the front straight. The AMG stretching its legs around the AMR 444, and that position might be done and dusted now. And it looks to be headed that way towards turn 1. The AMG on the optimum line, but will that AMR try to snap back? No, late on the brakes there, really holding his breath. The American flag on the side of that 444, waving very proudly.
A very interesting defense from Casey, or rather lack thereof, I should say, as it was almost looked like, to be fair, that Will Brunner was in a different category there for a moment. He was driving the GT2 cars, it seemed, in a straight line. I mean, just absolutely rocket shipped by Casey, but either way, Casey is going to keep on the slipstream, try his best to stay behind, whilst the squabbling remains up ahead. Ramon Torres, as well as Chronotis. These are 2 drivers that have gained some positions themselves. Torres up 1, Professor Chronotis up 5. Torres here, though, he's trying to make it another one as he goes to the outside. He's not going to find any daylight there, I would imagine.
No, not going to find any room to make a passing opportunity there. And both cars in similar machinery. The Ferrari doing one thing, but the McLaren's battling it out right now between the 2 cars out on screen right now. And you can see Professor Chronotis in that banana-colored livery right in front, bright and proud as ever with those blue wheels. And the number 18 is trailing behind, and AV6 Scott is back on the podium. Subscribed for 21 months, is on a 21-month streak. Holy Toledo.
That's almost a year. Thank you so much for your continued support, AV6 Scott. Now, Ramon Torres trying to poke at little weaknesses. Also, one thing I wanted to point out here, we got NML Racing over on the YouTube chat. Nate Lamlin, who rumor has it, who's been trapped underneath a barbell for the past 6 months in the gym, has joined us in chat. I'll be honest, I didn't think that there were rumors that the man wasn't alive, but clearly here today he is either a ghost from the gym or still in the gym. But either way, welcome back, Nate Lamlin. I hope to see you racing with us at some point.
And at some point, Casey Schutte is able to get past Will Brunner again. The battle for 11th and 12th got inverted on the entrance to the Green Hell circuit. And now the gap has been separated by at least 0.8 of a second.
Lovely three-way scrap here between the Ferrari, Mercedes, and Ferrari. It's a bit of a, well, two-horse race with an AMG in the middle here, as again, they haven't really been able to contest. I gotta say, Ruggiero Santos is an absolute animal. I mean, it's kind of obvious. Man has a T-Rex on the front of his machine as well as on the side, taking inspiration from Rexy, who recently won the championship, and Santos putting on an aggressive defense with all of his teeth. Zane Blisket needing to do the same. The Mad Fox needs to become, well, quite mad indeed. Nicholas Menendez is all over him like a license plate right now, and as they go on through the middle sector, the beginning sector, I should say, of Arenberg, there's a huge drift from the AMG, and that's going to be an opportunity opened up for the Ferrari. The 756 has to back out, though, because the AMG did not leave the room there on the inside. Now, was that strategic? Was there enough room? Maybe, but either way, the pressure has been alleviated for now.
Beautiful battles up and down the grid, and there's Matt Artem, who's doing pirouettes there on the infield, and again trying to rejoin the track at the banana of a straight here, but doing a good job of staying out of the way of some of the drivers, or the other drivers doing a great job of avoiding that carnage that could have taken place if Matt Artem had come a little bit further over the track. And the race is on between Matt Artem right now and Jaeger Karu and Spady Bud now trailing behind.
Yeah, very heads-up driving there from Jaeger Karu, just avoiding that incident, and it looks like they might have to avoid another one. Or no, Ruggiero Santos is... Where is he? I think he might have had a disconnect. Oh, that's unfortunate if that's the case. His people need him. It seems that he's taken off to outer space. We haven't seen that bug in a long time. Can we bring that, like, out of all of the bugs that ACC fixed over the years, it got rid of that one? Like, come on, that was one of the best features I think I've ever seen in a simulator. But wow. Saagar, this is impressive right here. Menendez, he is not letting up at all.
Ruggiero Santos actually worked to pits there, it looks like. Unfortunate for him, and he seems to have left the server. 28 drivers remaining from this battle that we're seeing out on track. Nicholas Menendez chasing down Zane Blisket in that AMG out in front, and not trailing too far behind is Kevin Yu, wanting a piece of the pie as well.
Mad Fox there. Oh, very much on the brakes early there. Mom Cheeks, thank you for the follow. As we have the move to the outside now, trying to go down the hill towards miss, hit, miss. It's going to be a miss, miss, miss in this situation for certain, as well as the Legorto. Thank you. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome to the team. Continuing on, the AMG is fighting for its life right now, just trying to keep its head above water, to be completely honest.
Amazing battles. Jaeger Karu as well, just caught in a sandwich between Kevin Yu, and there goes Jaeger Karu off, it looks like, just a little bit there, and he loses a position to Matt Artem finally. Matt Artem in the 414 in 20th position ahead of Jaeger Karu. Now Kevin Yu is going to be the next one up the chopping block from the Fuchsia Competition cars in 19th place, and Nicholas Menendez is chasing down Zane Blisket, and that's what we're watching right now on screen.
Yeah, and this is going to be the best opportunity right now for Menendez if he wants to have a go at getting the place, the exit of the second carousel here to launch yourself up the hill onto the back stretch. How are the top 10 getting on? Very independently, to be completely honest. We'll go over that here in a moment. Well, let's watch this fight on, as that was the first carousel, if I'm not... No, that was the first carousel. My bad. That's just, again, the nature of a track that has this many corners. You're bound to make a mistake here and there. Let's take a look at our top 10, shall we? If we can pull up the overall real quick, we can see right now Emirates leading the field over Ali Raza, 5.5 seconds, with Quinn Smith 2 seconds off the back of Raza. Jedubal is behind Smith, currently running in 4th. Fernandez up into 5th, with Tiago running 6th currently. We also have Kenneth Portis the 2nd in 7th, Jeff Spangler in 8th, Professor Kronos in 9th, and Ramon Torres rounding out your top 10. Lots of McLarens in the top 10, 5 of them in fact.
Let's take a look at the battle for 21 right now. The 414 and the 45 were involved in an accident just a little while ago right in front of these drivers. So that's Matt Artem and Kevin Yu sent to the back of the grid. And then this battle right here is involving Spady Bud, Andre Alex Alfonso, who's going over a curb and yeets himself into oblivion.
I think he got sent to the Shadow Realm on that one. Let's go back and take a look here. I'm pretty sure there was contact with Zane Blisket. In fact, let's try to get a different camera angle that might tell us a bit more. Or was this unforced? Oh, they're already out of shape. Never mind. Good spot, Saagar. I am blaming Zane for something he did not do. That was all on Andre Alex Afonso.
Yeah, getting a little bit squirrely there, going from curb to curb, and unfortunately having an accident. And then there's Jaeger Caro now, reaping the rewards of a commentator's curse.
Yeah, well, kind of. More, again, I think this is going to be just a lapse of focus. If I'm not going to be, yeah, it's pretty much exactly what it is. Overcooks it. Great reaction, to be fair, from Matter Team. No, excuse me, from, yeah, Matter Team. No, who was that?
Kevin Yu.
Kevin Yu, okay. Yeah, incredible awareness to get on the brakes in time. He made a little tap to the back there of Jaeger, but to be fair, that was minimal for what it could have been.
Check out Jan Stam in 22nd, chasing down Matt Artem right now. And this is the battle for 22nd and 21st overall. The 414 on a bit of a recovery drive right now. And the 100 of Jan Stam trying to do work on Matt Artem, who's got quite a bit of damage. Matt Artem's down 6 positions overall. Jan Stam is actually up 5 overall. But that Porsche, like I said earlier, is going to be a sitting duck in the straight line here. But none of these straights are actually straights. Most of them are just shaped like bananas, and there's a Spady Bud sitting off in the side, waiting to be picked up. And he is in the number 21, sitting in 23rd position now as he rejoins the track right at the chicane, I believe.
Yeah, and he's going to be immediately into pit lane. Fair enough, as I would imagine that was not a low-speed crash. You don't typically have a slow crash on this track, but he's not the only one in. We have a lot of drivers actually electing for their stop on this lap. That's a bit early if you ask me, but who am I to judge? I think they're going to be good either way. But yeah, good majority of drivers electing to stop. We still have some drivers a little bit further behind. Alex Hansen right now, John Wad currently running towards the back of the pack. But Gil Silver in here finding a bit of a fight himself, at least maybe relatively soon here, as he tries to catch up with Eric Gakassian. But one of the gaps that I've kind of been keeping an eye on that's been consistent on coming down is Quinn Smith and Ollie Raza. They have, well, last lap an 8:13.7 for Quinn and an 8:14.7 for Raza. That's a 1 second difference. There's only 2 seconds separating them, so it does seem like Raza has a bit of a weakness here. And I think last week in the interviews, he said exactly that, no?
I think so. I think Ollie Raza wasn't too pleased with coming to the Nordschleife circuit, and he wasn't too confident in his abilities. But Quinn Smith sure is right now. Ollie Raza is down 2 positions from the breakaway. Started off in first, now down into second. Down into second. Is that correct? Yes, he is. And Quinn Smith has gained nothing there so far. And Wilson Fernandez up 4th. Thiago Dinarte has gained 11 positions overall. The man who started in 16th position, driving clean as possible. The number 23 is now in 5th place overall. Kenneth Portis gaining 1. Jeff Spangler up 2. Professor Carnotis up 6. Ramon Torres is up 2. Casey Schuette's up 3. And Kevin Blanchette, the driver in the Jag, is up 7 positions right now.
Not bad at all. And Jaeger did not lose their focus. The Spady broke where a Porsche can break. Oh my goodness. Gil Silverin is trying to chew a hole in Eric Gakassian's bumper right now as they go on through Bergberg. No, not Bergberg. This is Kesselchen? No, this is not Kesselchen. Oh,
Arenberg.
Goodness, the move's getting done through Arenberg, of course. Side by side, Gil Silverin's going to get it done. Or is he? The corner is going to turn to the end, but he manages to muscle himself on by. Eric, I think, could have put up a bit more stout of a defense, to be honest, but I think he was just sort of prioritizing survival right now over that one position.
And through the foxhole, everything's all neat and tidy over Gil Silverland's getting that position done on Eric the Boss Gakassian and the Ender Force is going to be where we try to catch back up to. Who is that? That'll be Anthony Kelly from FNM in 12th position. That's right where he started as well. Gil Silverland's down 9 positions overall. Let's take a look at the timing tower and see how well he's been doing. 8:18.5 that last lap around being his best lap, but we've only done 2 here at the circuit so far. But I imagine the gap between himself and Anthony Kelly will come down quite dramatically. That Ford Mustang doing very well.
Yeah, exactly. He's been doing quite, honestly, superb. The Mustang currently best running in 5th position right now with Thiago Denarte currently behind the wheel for Brazil. In fact, he has Wilson Fernandez, I should say. He is 2 Brazilians running side by side right now, 4th and 5th position. Wilson Fernandez has been a bit of a kind of a sleeper in terms of drivers we haven't mentioned. 4 positions gained. He's kind of been consistent with that 9th to 7th kind of qualifying slot every single time, but his race pace always delivers. It's a matter of Wilson can keep it on the circuit. That's something that I often feel that is his biggest weakness, is just keeping it on track. He needs to dial it back sometimes a percent or two, because I feel like that's, again, just been his downfall over the course in terms of the points that he has lost. But again, I won't, go on about it. He's a very talented driver, and I think is one of the lead drivers over at Vacuum Racing. But just something to keep an eye on.
And Wilson Fernandez, when he does have a great race, usually is everything, including silent and deadly at the same time. He drives his own race. He maintains his consistency. He drives in a straight line. He's doing his job, and he doesn't worry about the other drivers that are around him when he's successful on any circuit that he's been on so far. That 888 has done very well whenever he's in clear air, but whenever that car gets pressured, like he might be from Thiago right now, is when he might crack at any moment right now. The gap now 1.5. Let's check out Gil Silverland as he has caught back up to Anthony Kelly from FNM.
You're going to be trying to find any form of move. On the back here, it's quite difficult. You can see just how narrow the track is, and they go through the first carousel. One of your best overtaking opportunities is right before the carousel, of course, as it's through the Kessel-Chen sequence, where you can just sort of outmaneuver your opponent and kind of play chess with them at 180 miles an hour, which is quite intense and quite fun. This is one of the few circuits where the stakes are absurdly high. In fact, we saw that earlier with the Ferrari in making the mistake that it did. I think that was Nicholas Menendez that we saw do that. And it seems maybe Jaeger Karu, getting tangled up with Spady Bud for a second time. Let's go back and see what happened between these two drivers. It seems that Spady must have had an incident. Okay, Jaeger had an incident, so Jaeger somehow got back ahead of Spady. Finds himself off into the wall. Okay, so we have Spady Bud arriving on the scene of a crime to provide moral support for his buddy. You know what? Fair enough. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness.
And we're just going to walk away from this one and go watch something else, like Anthony Kelly, who's now 1 second away from Kevin Blanchette, and Gil Silverland still tucked in underneath the rear wing, 0.8 away from this battle. And this is about to be a 3-way heated one right now, as Blanchette's driving that YEG very, very well right now.
That what?
I was making a joke between him and Jaeger Karu.
That was terrible.
Oh, man.
That did not hit. The Jag, as it's properly pronounced, come on, Saagar, is of course...
Jag.
No, it's so wrong.
Jaeger Karu needs to start driving a Jaguar so he can start making that joke more frequently.
I mean, I'm pretty pro that. Jaeger, you heard it here. Either way. Quinn Smith. Oh, Emirates. Made a mistake. Off. It doesn't seem the damage is too bad. In fact, not warranting a pit stop. If there's ever a spot to crash, that's the place to do it. However, they had a solid 6-second gap building, but that has come down to now 2.5. Let's take a look at what happened. Just goes on the curbs, unsettles the car. Great maneuvering. Honestly, great maneuvering from Emirates. Talk about drivers here for a moment when we come back. I think it clips the audio every time we go back, so give it a second here. There, and now I'll start talking. Okay, as Emirates is one of those drivers, speaking of, when it comes to improvements, I think Emirates is one of the most improved drivers in my eyes recently, just because in terms of pace, they've never had a doubt in my mind that they're absurdly rapid. But Emirates kind of came into it with a very aggressive mindset, and especially early on in the first few races at Trackalicious, I don't want to say it. I'm just going to say it, a bit of a menace. But after a couple, conversations with them and seeing just, that they are, it's just mindset. It's all mindset.
Battle with Timothy Jedubal and Matt Artem right now, 19th and 20th. Jedubal was able to get around Matt Artem very briefly there. But Matt Artem might try to snap back coming down the straight, it looks like. Let's see where they are at the Dottinger hole. And now it's a three-way battle side by side with Jedubal from FNM also getting involved. Matt Artem tucking into the slipstream, trying to get right back, and he is able to get right back. Andre Alex Alfonso. And Matt Artem using that slipstream to his advantage very, very well. And the 414 is performing very neatly here and providing us with some great racecraft ideas as well.
Yeah, and this battle is not going to be quite over yet, or it is for now, actually, as the battle goes down into pit lane now. But I do want to finish what I was saying. So yes, Emirates, no. So in terms of Emirates, they learned a lot very early on in the fact that they just have to dial it back 1 or 2%, and it can make such a difference in the way that you drive. And I say this a lot because a lot of even very fast drivers just don't realize it, and that yes, racecraft and hot lapping, they are two different things at the end of the day. And it's a talent that, again, if you have that hot lapping talent, if you have the pace, it transitions into racecraft, but you need to remember just to bring it back 2 or 3%. And we're definitely not doing a full onboard lap, but basically just, chill a little bit. And I think Emirates has chilled down, and since then, I mean, look at the amount of talent they've been able to unleash on the track. That's kind of the point that I've been leading up to. All this rambling is saying, great job Emirates right now, because they are very, very consistent. And despite that little tiny mistake, the gap's already building back up.
Go back over to the battle between 11, 12, and 13th. We missed a side-by-side with the Jaguar and the F&M car headed into the final chicane, but it looks like the positions are still where we left them. The 420 leads the number 7, leads the 400 right now, and the drivers are just trading a little bit of time here and there across the circuit, depending on where their manufacturers are suited best to provide us with the best lap times here around the Nordschleife. But some cars are not faring well through certain parts of the section, and that's where other cars are able to perform very well.
Yeah, and it's interesting you bring that up as well, because that is the fun part about GT racing, in my opinion. And if we take a look over at the pit wall, the Ferrari, believe it or not, the fastest car in a straight line down the Dottinger, it is at 291 kph. Behind that, 288 for the McLaren. That's pretty typical, I would say. The Ford Mustang, only 286. What's going on, Gil? You got a bit of drag put on that? Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. It's a very heavy car, and you need all the downforce you can get really on this circuit. But the Jag, third fastest in a straight line. What the heck is going on there? 287 kph. I didn't know that car was quick. I didn't know the car was good at anything, to be completely honest. But here we are. We're seeing the defense being put on right now by Blanchette. And it's going. I'm not sure it's going necessarily too well, but Anthony Kelly here, he's trying to, well, make that situation go away.
Yeah, and Anthony Kelly's trying to get some lap times in that are a little bit better than his last one. He was able to produce a 218.4, but the last lap only down to a 821.9. So he knows he's got more pace beneath his car, and he knows he's able to produce it. He's just got to find a way around this Jag in front of him, the Crazy Rabbits racing team, to be able to produce that. I wonder if he does get in front of him, if he'll be able to actually walk away. The yellow flag out for the number 100 right now of Jan Stam, and it looks like that might have just been self-inflicted.
Thus is the nature of the Nordschleife. Self-inflicted error after self-inflicted error. Oh my goodness.
Trying to go the long way around the foxhole, and he is able to go around the long way. And then the Jag gets a little bit squirrely there. Up the inside goes the Bad Fox car of Gil Silverland, and we're on the outside again at the Ender Frost corner at the entry to it. And here is Anthony Kelly's opportunity to walk away, improve his lap times, as that Jag is not doing too well in a straight line.
Yeah, Jaguar is shaking like a leaf on a tree right now, I gotta say, and it's really showing on the circuit. It's definitely going to increase tire wear as well. That's one of the things at the Nordschleife that you need to be very cautious of is graining, and a really easy way of describing, I know a lot of people often ask, what is graining exactly? And if you think about it, when you have a pencil and you start to erase on the paper, you see the little bits of rubber that get picked up on the end of your eraser. That's sort of what that graining phase is initially, and if you go through enough of it for long enough, the eraser wears down and it kind of becomes smooth again. So if you can get through that graining phase and maybe even well, you need to avoid the blistering phase, which is very important, then you can actually kind of have a decent window of survival if you go very long on the tires. Now, with these GT3 cars, they're going to be able to go an hour on these circuits pretty easily, but 120 minutes, you're going to need a new set of boots.
Yeah, the drivers are really going to have to worry about their early pit stops. Those drivers are going to be Erica Kosian, Nicholas Menendez, Will Brunner, Matt Artem, Zane Blisket, Alex Hansen, Andre Alex Alfonso, Spady Bud, Kevin Yu, John Watt, and Jaeger Carl, who have all taken their pits, and Jaeger now into the pits for a second time, if I'm not mistaken.
And Dr. Porkchop, can't wait for the rookie Nords. We're doing the Nürburgring at the rookies. It's the Nords for the Open. So, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. You will see the rookies, some of the rookies out on the Nordschleife, but you will not be seeing all of them. Malcolm X as well, welcome back. It's been a while. That is a returning name that I don't think I've seen in like a year. Welcome. We got a lot of returning names here tonight, and thank you everybody. Hope everyone's having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. We are currently about 30 minutes into this race. Wow, time flies when you're having fun, it turns out. And 47 minutes left to go. Current race leader is Emirates, followed up by Ollie Raza, Quinn Smith trailing in third, Wilson Fernandez in fourth. In fact, well, there's a bit of a lead battle developing. Ollie Raza has finally gotten caught up to, and Emirates not far away either.
Yeah, not too far at all. That gap, like you've been talking about, has come down pretty steadily. Ollie Raza 1 second away from Emirates right now. Quinn Smith 0.8 away from Ollie Raza. You mentioned that a few moments ago, that the lap times were separated by around a second, and they sure are still around 1 second a lap difference. 8:14.7 to an 8:15 from Ollie Raza the last lap around. But that Quinn Smith car, the AMR, doing a really good job of closing down the gap steadily but surely. And here we go into the area where Ollie Raza is going to try to make an opportunity happen on Emirates, who had that incident just a lap ago, 8.5 minutes ago.
Bit of a wiggle, though, there for Ollie. Not going to help him out on the charge, at least yet. Still does have the slipstream. No DRS like we saw today in Formula 1. These cars have a stationary rear wing. Also, Rubik Krabica, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, if I can remember Twitch names to non-Twitch names. Welcome back as well. Another long-time name that we haven't seen. Here's Gil Silverin, though, making a move on the Jag, despite the straight line speed that the Jag has, the Jaguar. It is under pressure from the legs of the Mustang. The horse on the tail right now, but not able to pounce, it seems. The Jag stays alive for now.
Gil Silverland still chasing down that Jaguar in front. He was 1/10 back and now into the pits to avoid any more conflict out on track.
I like it. I like the strategy, actually. Go for the undercut on Kevin Blanchette. That's going to force him to respond pretty much immediately. Well, I say immediately. That's going to be in the next 8.5 minutes. But neither here nor there. That's immediately in terms of the Nordschleife. That's just how, time is relative, right? That's what they always say. And so I think that's a perfect example of that. 1 second gap all the way through the top three right now. We're going to have an exciting finish to this race, I assume. But for right now, I don't expect these drivers to really start to push each other. I think their goal is just going to be keep ahead of Fernandez. They have a 10-second gap right now to Wilson behind. And just keep that for right now. There's no need to squabble. Just wait for the end of the race before they end up battling. In fact, I wouldn't mind seeing Quinn go for an undercut maybe, or Ollie Raza go for an undercut on Emirates. But just try to do something different to the driver from the UAE, the number one in P1 right now.
Andre Alex Alfonso in 21st was able to get by 22nd place position of Zane Blisket pretty neatly and tidily there. The 999 getting past the 64, and Zane Blisket there on another recovery drive. He's got his bonnet flapping in the wind for the Mad Fox sim racing car. Both drivers have taken their pit stop so far, so that is a pass and a move for position overall. And time being relative, the relatives, like you said, are still 1 second separating the top three right now.
Yeah, and I predict this will stay the same. I'm just trying to keep an eye here on the car body language for a little bit here. We're just going to stay with him. I have not forgot, Karu, about your full onboard lap. We will get to it. Spady is just currently all on their lonesome, so we'll get a couple corners. I mean, like I say, it's the Nordschleife. We're not going to go for a full onboard lap here. It's just unrealistic, to be completely honest. Nothing personal. I need to change that anyways. I need to change, like, on who to watch. But anyways, moving swiftly on. Quinn Smith, Ollie Raza, Emirates. This battle remains. Ramon Torres goes by Professor Cronotis. Don't know if that was a much of a conversation. I think Ramon kind of caught up to him like lightning and managed to get by without any issue. So Cronotis, I don't think, is going to be able to keep up. He wanted to see on how he needs to improve. On how he's improved. I got you. Okay, I see. Like I say, we'll get to it. So I think he just came out of a yellow flag. That we'll call that a Karu curse right there. I'm pretty sure you just caused an incident right there, Karu. So holy smokes! Nailgun Stanley is on the podium. Subscribed for 3 months total. Currently on a 2-month streak. That's almost a year. Thank you so much for your continued support.
Thank you for being here, Nailgun Stanley. Really appreciate the love and support that you're giving to the Trackalicious staff here for your subscription.
Speaking of Trackalicious staff, Casey Schutte 1.8 off of Cronotis, and Cronotis still behind Torres.
1 second gap from Professor Cronotis to Torres, and then 1.8 to Casey Schutte. That's right. Anthony Kelly's trying to close down a bit of a gap, but he's not doing it right now. 8:24 that last lap around compared to 8:22s and 8:24s for the cars in front. So I believe Casey Schutte is going to be the one closing down on Professor Cronotis over the next lap or two, as he's running about 2 seconds a lap faster than Professor Cronotis and Ramon Torres.
Certainly seems to be the case, and Casey, the 6-shooter, currently running the 444 in the Reckless Racing. Well, he's a bit out of position for what we normally expect from him, so it does not surprise me to see the pace over the rest of the drivers around him. He will be catching up to his rightful position, I assume, relatively, well, hopefully within the next 42 minutes, as the number 42 tries to squabble on with the driver ahead. And the battling at the front, not really changed. Still about 1.5 seconds from Quinn to Ali, and 1 second from Ali to Emirates. And if anyone knows this track, it's going to be Ollie Raza. I know he's driven a couple endurance races here. He may say he doesn't know this circuit. He doesn't like it. I think he is sandbagging just a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But he is, I think, proving me right, to be completely honest, just by showing the lap times, the pace. Currently lapping his fastest at a 8:14.7 in race pace. That's not even the best, though. 8:13.7 from Quinn. And that is, I think, the fastest lap. Yeah, an 8:13.7 is currently held by Quinn Smith.
Yeah, and that's a stonking lap time. That is a full 45 seconds faster than most MX-5s will be around the Nordschleife circuit. So if you ever decide to come out here and rent a car, go ahead and try your luck with an MX-5 Cup car and see how well you do compared to some of these GT3s. It's quite a different beast here when you're driving an MX-5 car that's topping out in a straight line. These GT3s have much more horsepower behind them and can obviously pull out a lot more weight. Spady Bud right now, we're watching him go through the GP section right now in the number 21 car.
Yeah, speaking of horsepower, we go on board of the Cavallina Rampanti, the prancing horse piloted by Spady Bud, and he is going up through the NGK chicane, which normally would shoot you down into the Coca-Cola curve, but not this time. You're going to instead go left here and go around onto the Nordschleife circuit and begin the chaos that is of this lap. The walls start to close in around you and everything gets very, very narrow, but I can assure you that is all normal. You do not need to call your doctor.
Speaking of doctors, make sure you eat your banana a day to keep the doctor at bay. of course. And coming down through the mountain section, Spady Bud with a big tank slapper slipping over a banana peel over the curb there. It might be awfully slippery out right now. What are the track temperatures? Track temperature is going to be 26 degrees Celsius, 23 degrees Celsius for the ambient temperature, and that'll be hot enough to fry a banana on, that's for sure.
It's a very ideal temperature, I would say, to be honest, and it's warm for a day out here in the Ardennes forest, to be completely honest. Spady Bud so far giving it his all and trying to hang on with both hands, so far gripping it well, but has been struggling for traction in a couple spots of the circuit. We'll stick him on board. We'll stick on board with him for a couple more corners before we tune off. This is where things start to get a little difficult. Oh, goodness, and we go round. The back end does overtake the front, spins back round, saves it out of the wall, though, to be fair. But one thing's for certain. Oh, goodness, handful of opposite lock both directions, and killing the car to boot. Backs up into the barrier. Nope, keeps it out of the barrier, gets the car restarted. And has to rejoin. That is a tragic tale from Spady Bud.
Really unfortunate. Casey Schutte now 1 second away from Professor Carnotis. The battle for 9th and 10th being the last of the top 10. Obviously coming and going. Andre Alex Alfonso chasing down Alex Hansen. And this is a gap that's now down to 0.2 of a second. Both drivers have taken their pit stop, and there goes Alex Hansen around the outside, dips the wheel off into the grass. There goes Andre Alex Alfonso up the inside. Gets a little squirrely there going over the curves. And no, I didn't say Joshua Worley. I said getting squirrely there. Andre Alex Alfonso doing the work.
Yeah, that was less than ideal from Alex Hansen. Just to put it lightly, that was a little bit of an ambitious defense. And, well, I'm not sure he'd had full control of the car there briefly, but manages to keep it out of the wall. That's the important thing, and fighting it a little bit hard there, but nobody got hurt. And again, I mentioned that earlier, and that is the most important thing. Emirates into pit lane. Kenneth Portis II into pit lane. Wilson Fernandez, Tiago in. Casey Schutte does come in as well. Ramon Torres, Professor Carnotis. Seems that everybody is going to make their stop here. We have just gone over that halfway, or yes, we've just gone over the halfway point. So these drivers are electing to go in on this lap. Emirates on the best strategy, I presume. I mean, honestly, I wanted to see Quinn or Ali come in first, but Emirates goes for the pit stop early, takes the fresh boots, and as long as they get a good outlap and don't get caught up in traffic, which they don't, it's looking good.
Looking good. Casey Schutte staying out. Quinn Smith and Ali Raza all staying out on track right now. Wilson Fernandez, Kenneth Portis II, all coming out of the pit lanes. 32.5, 35.2, 32.3 second pit stops. And Thiago Denarte getting a 37.1 stop and go for his pit stop for himself and getting service and all that.
Yes, and I will admit that is a bit of a surprise. 4 seconds off of the ball there, a little bit slow. Tiago needing to hit his marks a little better next time. Practice your pit entries, everybody, and practice your pit exits simultaneously. You know the drill. It wouldn't be a stream with me if I didn't say it. Fights continue on with Carnotis and Torres, though. They went into the pit lane side by side, and they come out pretty much side by side as well. Now on to the front sector of the Nürburgring circuit. Track added back in 82. They're going to squabble it out and see if he can make something happen, maybe into the Dunlop. But you really want to get the job done if you have the opportunity on the GP circuit. It's your easiest overtaking spot.
And that's where the track is going to be one of the widest sections because it is a GP circuit, obviously, allowing for the wider F1 cars to take place here and being a grade 1 circuit as well, meaning that there's tons of runoff. The barriers are pushed farther away and it's graded accordingly with runoff for the rain.
It's time. Spangler fell way back. Yeah, Spangler has not, well, he just qualified way back, to be honest. He's actually made up positions. Well, he just pit. So that's why he's so far back currently. He's, I think, running around in 9th-ish position, 8th position. But we'll see when all of the cards fall and all the drivers make their final stops. But actually, now that you mention it, now I'm looking at things, everybody in front of him has pit as well. I think he is. Yeah, something's happened to Spangler. This is not the circuit for him.
Oh, taking a look at the screen, Jeff Spangler actually crashed into a wall right before his pit stop cycle.
Oh.
And that'll be why he's tumbled down the order quite dramatically, but should still be sitting in the top 10 when all things are said and done, hopefully.
I don't think he will be right now. He's going to have to work for it because he's currently, everybody in front of him has made their stop. Casey Schutte, Quinn Smith, and Ollie Raz are the only ones to do so. So he's going to have to take these positions back if he wants them. And Anthony Kelly has a 10-second gap to Gil Silverin. Now, can he get this position back from Anthony? I certainly think so. Kelly here is definitely feeling the pressure right now. And as we go on up the hill, we'll see if he can make do. But Gil Silverin, that's the real kind of question. 4.3 seconds to Chronotis. Chronotis with a small gap to Torres. Jeff here, this isn't his track. I think it's safe to say.
Jeff Spangler having that one incident, I wouldn't take it away from him and say this isn't his track, but he did lose at least 30 seconds in that pit stop cycle with a 59.7 stationary. That damage repair that he had to get obviously hurt him and set him back quite a bit. 30 seconds will put him in that top 10 for sure. And Ramon Torres under threat by Professor Chronotis, but Chronotis slipping further back about 1.3 away right now.
Oof, Jeff Spangler there, a little bit of an offline. He's pushing hard. He wants to find the move on to Anthony Kelly, but he needs to really rein it in here and just kind of be patient. This isn't the best chance to make moves. You might want to just wait till Kessel Chen to try to find any sort of opportunistic, well, goals. I don't know. I mean, he concedes every single corner. He's looking to the inside. He's going a different way. That's because he's just pushing way, way too hard, in my opinion. But this is really going to cost him. We take a look back to the standings real quick, and this is our championship leader that we're talking about, the man that took first place on Paul Ricard. He took first place at Spa, second at Kyalami, second at Olton, and second at Watkins. And 14th is currently where he sits in the Nordschleife.
And it won't be too bad for him sitting in the championship right now, as long as Quinn Smith doesn't do anything better than second place, as Quinn Smith still has a drop round of second place. This will be Jeff Spangler's drop round, obviously, keeping him in the lead of the championship, hopefully.
That is true. I forgot about drop rounds. Those do, in fact, help out Jeff. Ooh, but they are going to help Kevin out. Unfortunately, though, not going to help him out in the moment. In fact, Kevin Blanchette, he has dropped himself out of the server after dropping it into the wall.
Yeah, a return to garage there for the 420. Unfortunate incident for him, and that'll put him at least a lap down at this point if he does decide to return and start driving again.
Yeah, that was a straight up Alt F4. There wasn't even a return to the garage. I didn't have time to. He was just gone.
Oh, Emirates having an incident. Emirates having an incident. Ollie Raza inherits the lead of this race. Emirates having a big off right now. Taking a look back at what happened to Emirates coming out of the carousel. Let's see what he's doing. And he just gets a little squirrely on the exit, goes over and bottoms out the car there when he mounted the exit curbing there. And then that'll leave him stationary for just a few moments. And that drops him back down into the garage for the number one car in 22nd position for Emirates.
Yeah, that was a bit of a overreaction in my opinion. I don't think